Hey babes, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. So for today's video we're doing a classic holiday look with a red lip but with a twist. So normally I would stick to like very soft matte, maybe a little bit of glitter, but I've never done glitter in this way for a holiday look or like a very traditional look. So from the front this look is very soft, very glam, and like natural in a way. Natural, but you know what I mean, like very soft matte, soft glam. But then if you look closely you can see this like tracing of glitter liner throughout the look. I'm really excited to share with you guys how I created this look. Every product that I use will be listed down below if you guys are curious, and if you have any questions please feel free to ask. I always try to respond to, you know, comments and everything. So thank you guys so much for supporting my channel, and let's get into the look. Alrighty guys, so jumping right in, I already have my brows and my forehead done, just because if I do eyes first I think this is like the easiest way to do it. But this is what the eye look looks like so far. I'm obsessed. It is like a little spicy but like also super simple and glam. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just prime my eyes with some concealer. I do this before every like fancy eye look. If I'm just doing like very basic makeup and I'm like not going anywhere or like just trying to do everyday makeup, I will not always do all this, but if I'm doing like my actual makeup, every time. I recently started to use this little flat brush to do the bottom of my eyebrows, and I think I really like it. I think actually it gives me more control than the brush I normally was using, but yet I still use that brush. So instead of using two brushes for doing my eyebrows and like cleaning them up here, now I feel like I need to use these three brushes, and it's getting out of hand. The first thing I'm going to do is that, and then I'm just going to basically blend this out all the way to my eyelids. So then moving on, we're going to jump in with an oldie but a goodie. This is the Morphe 350 matte. It just really, like, I saw this palette and I was like I was using it actually for the browns to do my eyebrows, and I saw this and I was like, I think I could do something really nice with this. So that's what we're going to do today. And I will say you can use any palette that has some warm browny reddish tones. There are so many palettes that have colors like this. So if you don't have this palette, don't bother. But also, I love to use older palettes on my channel because sometimes it's like we forget about the stuff we own or things, you know. So anyway, that's what we're doing. So the first thing I'm going to do on just a very basic fluffy brush, this one is from Wet n Wild, I'm going to pick up this matte cream shade right here. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. Because this palette doesn't have names and all of the shades look so similar, I literally can't remember if I went in with this shade, or this shade. They all look so similar. So pick an orangey shade like this. Honestly, this one's like a little bit more brown, but I feel like I went in with either one of these two. So we're gonna try it out and like get it to match color wise. Okay, so I think that actually looks similar to what I did. I ended up going in with this shade right here that's a little bit more brown. And next I'm going to jump in with, again, not 100% sure. I feel like it's really difficult to remember, but I'm pretty sure I went in with this shade. So I was either going for like a warm orangey brown, so I think I went in with this one. So I'm going to take that on another small fluffy brush. This one is a little bit more precise than the other two. Okay, so I decided to take the same brush and just go in with the shade right above it. It's like a little bit of a warmer brown. For some reason I'm seeing that this side's coming out more orange and this one's a little bit more like mauve-y orange. I don't really know how I managed to get such different like results. I really feel like I used the exact same shades, but like I'm saying, the technique is the same, so do with that what you will. Use your own shades. So I'm just kind of taking a brown and I'm kind of like, it's like that orangey brown, and basically I'm applying very little to the bottom of my eye, almost like tracing out the beginning of a wing, and also going through the top just a little bit to create kind of like a V shape at the corner of my eye. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a fluffy white or flat brush like this, and I'm going to take one of the lighter matte white shades in the palette, and I'm kind of like gonna do a loose cut crease as if I were to apply like an eyeshadow for the cut crease, but I'm really just making sure that there's like some color here that is bright and white and skin tone, because that's going to bring out this inner corner a lot. And I feel like on this eye I lost it a little bit, so just feel free to like go back in and blend it back out. So then using a angled brush, I'm going to take one of the many browns in this palette. Probably the one I'm going to start with the little brown I just used, which was this one right here. That's kind of like a terracotta brown a little bit. And I'm going to start with this shade and then I'm going to build it up darker. But basically I'm going to just do a more precise kind of wing with that. Taking it about like halfway-ish on my eye. Then jumping over, I'm going to probably take this one right here. So it's a more like deeper version of that. And for this, I really do recommend using a brush that has a nice angle like this. It's really going to make a difference because it's going to help you literally get that shape so easily. And then I'm going to take the same brush and just grab a brown and stipple the brown closer to my lash line, but kind of going in the same motion. Okay, so now that I've got this traced out a little bit, I'm going to take an even more precise angled brush. This one is much smaller in comparison. And I'm going to take like the deepest brown in this palette. You could also use black. I just think that sticking with brown kind of makes everything a little softer, a little more soft glam vibes. And I'm going to line my eye as close to my lash line as possible. This is going to make your lash line look really smoky, and especially if you're not going in with lashes, is really going to help to like make your lash line look fuller. And then I'm going to do the same thing that I did before, and I'm going to trace myself out a little wing. So it by no means has to be perfect, but the one thing you do want to make sure to do is stipple enough of that dark brown close to your lash line. And then last but not least, for the top of the eyes, we're going to take this Stila eyeshadow. e.l.f. has a ton of dupes for these and they're really good, but I really wanted to go with like a gold shade. So this one is in the shade Sunset Fire. I actually found this at TJ Maxx in a set of 3. So I'm going to grab this on this tiny little brush. This brush is actually for paint. It's by the brand Royal and Langnickel, and I think I actually got it at Joann's or Michael's. Basically, I'm just going to take from the applicator here and pick up in really, really tiny amounts because you want to not glob it on. And I'm going to start to like outline the wing that I've already created. At first, especially if you're using a really little brush, you might not see the color that much. And then you're just going to want to look back and forth at each eye and see that the eyeliner is as even as possible, because since you're tracing it, and especially with this eyeliner, I feel like technically it's a glitter eyeshadow, but with this glitter eyeshadow I feel like it's almost holographic and therefore makes it just like a little bit harder to see what I'm doing in some cases. And so a lot of what I'm doing here is kind of like looking at my mirror, looking far away, turning my head, and to see that it just kind of looks as even as possible. Then if you are not going to be wearing falsies, I would just curl my lashes and apply some mascara. One of my favorite mascaras right now is the Falsies Lash Lift by Maybelline. So I'm just going to curl my lashes real quick. This is a great look either for like New Year's, Halloween, Christmas. It's super beautiful and festive and still super soft, so there's a lot of variety you can do here. And if you don't like this like glitter wing situation, you can always omit that and make the look a lot more classic, and just kind of follow the same steps. Also, I did just get some mascara on my eye right here, so what I'm going to do is just kind of let that dry, and then I will go ahead and kind of flake it off. Then I'm going to go in with some black eyeliner. This is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Retractable Eyeliner. This one is waterproof, which is why I love it, because there's no transfer. And then I just tightline my eyes so that there's no gap between my lashes or my eye. It looks just a little bit more smoky. So next, I'm going to go in with some new lashes from the brand Cavalli. I'm so excited to be working with them, just to like show you guys a few of their styles that they sent me. So these are so gorgeous, and I honestly don't know which ones to choose. I might go with these. I really want something that's like wispy enough that you can kind of see what's happening on the outer corner. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with these. These are in the style Ventura. I will link the brand's information down below so you guys can go shop from them, but they are just Cavalli lashes, or Cavalli Lash. I think you can just look them up on Instagram or Facebook, and of course I will link their website down below. These are gorgeous. So I'm just going to pop on these lashes real quick, and then I'll be right back to kind of show you what this look feels like with lashes on. Okay, you guys, so moving on to face, now that the eyes are done. These lashes are so beautiful. They're so fluffy, like literally like so 3D, like just so voluminous. Like I said, these are in the style Ventura. Gorgeous. I think these are probably the my most favorite of the styles they sent me. This is actually very similar to the lashes that I wore on my wedding day. Now I figured we can jump into the skin. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go in with some primer. I'm going to use a super moisturizing primer because my skin is pretty dry right now. This weather is killing me. This is the Too Faced Hangover Major RX Primer. This is like the extra large tube. But I actually found mine at TJ Maxx or Marshalls or something like that. And so it was not 40 something dollars. Normally it's like 40 something dollars. Next I'm gonna go in with the Smashbox what? The Smashbox primer water. This is also really good. I also found this on sale. Smashbox was having a sale on these, so I actually ordered this online a while back and I really like it as well. I bought it honestly to see what the hype was about, and it's good, but it's not like life-changing, you know what I mean? So I'm just going to kind of let that sit on my skin for a minute. And then today I'm going to go in with the LA Girl Pro Matte Foundation. I like this one a lot. This one's in the shade medium beige. And for some reason my pump kind of like crapped out on me. So I've been applying it like this, and I think it's actually so much easier because I just get the product on my face quickly, you know? So this is like a soft matte foundation kind of formula. The formula itself is really thick when you first put it on your skin, but it blends out really easily. It's super full coverage. Like look at this like redness on my cheek right here. Anything, it just gets covered up so good. So around this portion of my eye, I'm going to take that same brush I used on my eyebrows, and I kind of just ran under it to clean it up. I normally wouldn't do this, and I normally don't love the look of like a super sharp eye like this, but I think for this look it kind of calls for it. I'm just kind of patting and working that around, and then I'll just go back in with my sponge. This foundation is also super affordable because it's by LA Girl. I think they actually even sell it at Five Below. So next up I'm going to grab some concealer. I'm actually going to use the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. This one is in the shade Medium 22. I actually really like the applicator on this. It's like super flimsy and strangely satisfying to apply. I'm going to apply this on the sides of my nose, a little bit on the bridge, and then I'm kind of going to do this. I've been seeing this technique a lot. Rather than like applying everything in a triangle format, you kind of leave this area bare. I'm also going to go in with my Collab translucent powder. This one is in the shade Porcelain Ivory. I say it's translucent, but it's not really translucent, I guess. I'm going to take the sponge I was using before as well. I'm being very careful around like this eyeliner portion. Okay, so after kind of having set my eyes with a sponge, I'm going to go in with just a small little brush to pick up the rest of that powder and kind of just press it into my skin. Okay, so now that the face is set down and nice and matte and everything, I'm going to go in with the Casey Holmes Physician Formula collab. This was awesome. I thought it was such a great product. I did not like the packaging because it's so bulky, and I still like have the plan to do this. I want to pull out especially the face products in here. They're so good, and I really just think they're like worth removing them from this bulky packaging because look how thick this is. In like some ways this is a great like travel palette because you have a lot of what you need, and this highlighter in here is stunning. It was limited edition, and then at the same time it's like this is such bulky packaging that it sucks, and like they had to make it this deep because there was a perfume in here, so that perfume like really did like encompass a lot of the size. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna go with a bronzer, blush, everything in here, and I might dip into other products as well, but for sure I'm going to dump into these. So just taking the bronzer, this is the shade Deep Bronzer. This isn't limited edition. You can get this like regular bronzer shade from Physicians Formula. It's a nice warm bronzer, so if you are into a very warm bronzer, this one is a great one. So I'm going to probably do a little bit of baking to clean up under my cheek here. Okay, so I'm actually going to take a much smaller brush and that same shade and just kind of bronze in a more precise way, kind of almost contouring at the same time. Okay, so I'm going to take my Collab powder that I was using just a little bit ago, and I'm going to take my Tati Beauty Blendiful, and I'm going to bake. I normally don't do a whole lot of baking because I find that like it can look a little bit too harsh, but this powder isn't a super like intense powder, and I think it's going to give me the desired effect, especially here where like I really need to do some cleaning up because I've messed up. I've actually used quite a bit of this powder. I was literally just thinking to myself like, why isn't more coming out? And it's because this is really all I have left is this little bit. I've used this so much. You can see it's almost empty actually. So next I'm going to jump into the Shade and Light palette from Kat Von D. They are now called KVD Vegan Beauty, but I'm just going to take this, like I'm going to just take a little flat fluffy brush. I washed all my brushes and I kind of forgot like what I was using what brushes for what, and so it's almost kind of like a process of beginning that over and picking new brushes for things. So I'm also just running that on the sides of my nose. This brush I normally use for under the eyes, which it's great for as well. This is a Luxie 209 large shader brush, but I think this brush is actually so perfect for nose contour because it's stiff enough but straight enough to really create the lines, you know, like look at the size of that. It's beautiful. Wow, yeah, I definitely think this is gonna be my new nose brush. It's just like so amazing, and I've been doing that a lot in my videos as well, just like doing the bottom of my lip. I think I'm actually gonna take some on the sides as well, especially when you like are doing a bold lip. It actually looks really good to kind of accentuate that area. I'm gonna apply some more of this primer water just to kind of set my face, get rid of that powdery look because there's a lot of powder on my face right now. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with this Steve Laurent Jelly Highlighter in the shade Prosecco, Please. This is a very similar formula to the ColourPop Super Shock Shadows, where it's like kind of a jelly and in formula, like very squishy, almost wet feeling. And I'm going to take a little bit of this and highlight my nose with it. This is a super intense, like wet looking highlighter without being super glittery. I'm also going to highlight my inner corner with this. So I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild Photo Focus. I always say that. This is their Mega Glow highlighting powder in the shade Precious Petals. I love this. If you are an OG of my channel and you've been following me for a long time, you know how much I love this. This is my second one and I've hit pan on it and like just continued to go through it. The first one that I had of these I went through so quickly because I was using it all the time. I really love this highlighter. It kind of uses as like an initial highlight, almost like a transition shade between my bronzer, blush, and highlight. Because it's a little bit bronzy, a little bit blushy, like it has that like rose gold color, and really the formula is nice and it's intense and everything, and I can use it as like just a highlight as well, but I think that it looks so beautiful to really incorporate all those things together. And I love to put it on my cheek area because then when I smile like head on, you can really see it there. And I'm not super precise in my application of this as well. Okay, so then I'm gonna just finish up the lower lash line real quick so that we can get it moving. I'm probably just gonna use some of those orangey brown colors and call it a day. Nothing too fancy. I actually really like this orangey brown up here, so I'm gonna take some of that and just run it on the lower lash line. I want to make sure to kind of like almost like take it down. It like opens up the eye, makes my eye look way bigger. Also, if you have like any fine lines, like bringing it down, like any color on your lower lash line will kind of like mask those little fine lines. Okay, so amazing. I'm loving the way this is looking. I'm gonna apply some bottom lash line, lower lash line mascara real fast. This mascara is also so good at separating your lashes and like honestly makes my lower lashes look so nice. Other than Essence, I think that this is probably one of the very best mascaras at the drugstore. I love mascaras that kind of have this applicator with that's like kind of like hair-like, and this one is just so good. Okay, so jumping back into the Casey Holmes collab, I'm gonna take the blush in here and I'm gonna actually apply this with a duo fiber brush. This is a super intense blush, so you can either, you know, pack it on or use it sparingly. Normally I kind of use this blush in a way that like I apply like a ton of it on the apples of my cheeks, but right now I'm kind of feeling like a wash rather than like an intense cheek moment. Okay, so next I'm gonna jump in with this highlighter. This one is called Just Peachy and it is the most beautiful highlighter. It's kind of glittery, but I personally am into that. You know, it just depends on what you like. I think it's one of the most like intense highlighters that I own actually. It's so nice. It has like very, very fine glitters, but it doesn't look like super like chunky glittery. I don't know how to explain it, but it's really nice. And you don't need much of it to get like that wow effect. Okay, so next I'm going to go in with the Milani Make It Last. You can see how much I love this. This is like a continuous repurchase for me. I think it's such an amazing product. And if you really want to make your makeup last, look no further. This is honestly amazing. I actually wore this one on my wedding day and like, mind you, this is a drugstore product. It's that good. Okay, so while I let that dry, I'm going to go grab my lip color. Okay, so I'm going to go for a red, like a true holiday moment. So the lip liner that I'm going to use is the LA Girl Perfect Precision Lip Liner in the shade Reddish. And then I have two lip options for you guys. So if you are going to be eating and drinking and partying all night long and you need your makeup and your lipstick to last all night, this is the one for you. This is the Maybelline Super Stay Ink in the shade Pioneer. This is beautiful. Literally will not budge. I mean, I would take it with you if you can, but like I've used this on so many clients and it just doesn't budge. And then next I also have the Milani Matte Kiss and then number 72. This one, I like the color a little bit better. It is like a true blue red. Those are my favorite kinds of reds. Like, they're so nice. So this one also has a very similar color. I have to say, like, literally they look so similar. But it really just depends on what you want. I think today I'm going to go in with the Milani one just because I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to take this off soon. So, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. But I'm just going to line my lips really fast. This is super creamy and will not dry your lips out even though it is matte. So one thing I will say about this lipstick is even though it is a matte lipstick, it's not as matte as this. Like in like the way that it looks in photos and the way that it looks in pictures, everything like that, or in like video or whatever, like in person. This one definitely, like, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it has a little bit more of a sheen to it in person than this one does. But like I said, I love them both. I think they're both really great, and this one smells really good as well. So, okay you guys, so this is the finished look. Honestly, I really love it. It's a very classic look, but with a little bit of flair. Normally this is not the kind of like eye look that I do for like holidays and things like that. But it's so pretty and a little bit different, and still keeps the eye very like matte and simple when you're looking at it from the front, and almost like it's like when you're turning and talking that you see the little bit of glitter on the eyes. So it's very subtle and very, very beautiful. I really like this look. Honestly, it's gorgeous. So if I do say so myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down below before you go, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye guys.